In the 9 weeks of 2018, the United States has had 12 school shootings. The most tragic of these shootings occurred this past Valentine's Day, where Nicholas Cruz opened fire at students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Since the school shooting, high school students around the United States have been motivated to be involved in politics and policies set forth by their elected officials. As we proceed through this speech, we'll discuss how this school shooting has caused this involvement of the high school students and also the outcome of this involvement. After this past Tuesday, the last funeral for the 17 students were killed, students went to the state capitol to rally for better gun control. The students argued that now is the time for action and to advocate for stronger gun restrictions. This past President's Day, a 16-year-old junior was quoted saying, "I have to be aware if there's a loud bang in the school. Do I know where to go?" Unfortunately, lawmakers and elected officials are making policies that do not reflect to keep the general public safe. Republican lawmakers are even arguing that high school students are incapable of making informed political decisions and are even arguing that they're being bullied by Democrats. Even after the rallies were changed, unfortunate news came that the Florida House refused to consider a ban on assault weapons, according to a New York Times article detailing the efforts of the Parkland, Florida students. Recent fervor by the students throughout the United States and high school politics. Recent fervor caused by high school students around the United States has caused politicians to wake up and listen to them. Unfortunately, these politicians refuse to take these supporters seriously, and it's almost as if the voices of the people don't matter. Thank you. Now, I do have some discussion questions. So my first discussion question is, with so many school shootings, what are the thoughts on KSU's open carry laws?
We actually answer.
Yes.
I don't like it.
I feel that it's unnecessary to allow guns to be on campus because I don't see the point. Like, I feel like it's a move that's being made by people who just want to say, like, well, we allowed it and we gave them their rights. But why bring something to campus and, like, create potential problems that weren't here before? So, and then the logistics of allowing the guns on campus is ridiculous because they're not even allowed in the areas where the most crime happens. So once again, I don't get the point.
Correct me if I'm wrong, are they not allowed in the residential areas?
You're right.
They're not allowed in-
So that just brings a question because there's a lot of stuff that's not allowed in the residential areas but still ends up here. So it also makes me worry about people who are resident assistants who have to go on these dangerous situations at 12 o'clock at midnight, lockouts, 2 o'clock in the morning by themselves, or noise complaints, and the resident may be upset. What if they whip a gun out on you? What do? But yes, this may not be allowed, but marijuana is not allowed, but it still gets in. Alcohol is not allowed, it still gets in. So it just poses the question of safety for the people who are like kind of staff for the school and are supposed to be working for the school and working with the school and progressing this community and making it better. So just a concern.
And I have yet to see any event to be hosted by KSU of how to properly use a gun, how to properly conceal your weapon. I have yet to see any type of workshops. I have yet to see any type of event, workshop, class, course, anything being offered to provide a way to make sure these people who are, bringing the guns know what they're doing, because people can get guns just because they're 21. So where are like any kind of like standards or like, barriers being set? I don't see that happening.
So why do you think that the United States has the most school shootings of each nation?
I believe it's because we have such loose gun control laws to begin with. Because when you look at other countries, like I remember I read a document, I don't remember the specifics, on Australia, but the amount of years that have gone by without them having school shootings is, I'm pretty sure, in the double digits, and they don't have civilians with guns the way the US does. And I think if you look at all the countries that have stricter gun control laws, they don't have school shootings like we do.
We're just not doing anything, honestly, about it. We keep saying thoughts and prayers, but it's not, it isn't, I don't want to say prayers don't work, they do, but I'm just saying we still need some action. Faith is dead without works, so we need some action here. because you can't just keep saying, I'm sending my thoughts and prayers and not, you know, not backing it up. So we need some type of action, like she spoke on with the thing with Australia, that's going on, but it's just crazy to me to think about the fact that I saw something the other day. It was a guy saying we're so worried about people coming into this country. They should be worried about us going to theirs. Like it's getting out of hand, and I feel like other countries that are having these shootings or having problems are putting the correct things in place, and you're not hearing about this again. When's the last time you heard about a mass shooting in Australia or Canada, places like that?
So, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.